more light to it. And again, like you said, classic matches.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We were talking about him earlier, man.
Punk.
Yeah.
I don't feel like my man get enough love. That's one of my favorite wrestlers.
Oh yeah, me too. Yep. Shout out to CM Punk, man.
That was first of all, one of the best build-ups.
Yes, sir.
As well as execution of the matches, especially considering CM Punk did most of it himself because Undertaker wasn't there for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they finally got down to the match and they fought, and it was just like, it just showed Undertaker's ability to be able to work with somebody any size, any style. It doesn't matter. I felt like the smaller the person was Undertaker was fighting, his matches were better.
Yeah.
Like I said, with that Jeff Hardy match, that was a great match. His feuds with Rey Mysterio, amazing matches.
Mm-hmm.
His feud with CM Punk, amazing matches. Shawn Michaels, smaller individuals. Like, he just knows how to make a smaller person still look like his moves are impactful. Yeah. But not lose any of the impact of his character. Right. Like, he never diminished who the Undertaker was, even when he would be selling or taking bumps for other superstars.
Right. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And I think to add to your point, because like Undertaker's a big dude, like he's a real life big dude. The man is legit 6'8", 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah, he's a big man.
You know what I'm saying? So he's able to throw these little dudes around, but at the same time, he's able to sell their moves. He's able to make them look good, and he did it perfectly. He did it with everybody. You got these little guys. You got these little guys flying around.
Underrated bump taker. Underrated bump taker.
Yeah, he is. He really is. And like you just see him, like also when he started to add the when he jump out the ring, full body, full force. I'm like, oh my God, what? You see this big ass dude just flying like this.
Why you got skills like that?
That is ridiculous, yo.
First of all, I don't want to be on the opposite end of catching him when he's flying out of the ring.
Yeah, seriously.
That's like 300 pounds of man meat just falling on you. I don't want to be there. Like, I'm sorry. Bro, that's
a whole lot of men moving fast, coming at you fast.
That's a massive frame, just like hitting your whole body. Like,
man,
I don't want that.
Yeah. We was talking about it earlier. We touched on it a little bit earlier when WrestleMania matches, the two Shawn Michaels matches, which to me in WrestleMania history, like you talk about like top 10 matches all time. I think you have to put those in there in that category. And
if you ask me, the second one is the greatest match of all time.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
The greatest WrestleMania match ever.
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one.
I've watched that match probably 50 times, and you can't find a mistake in it. There's no flaws in that match. It's a perfect match. I don't know how they did that.
I think again, you're taking two of the most iconic wrestlers, and at this point, Shawn Michaels at the end of his career, and then Undertaker's at the tail end as well. And you just like, yo, this is going to be my last match, my last like official match here. We're going balls to the wall. We're giving everything that we can to this match. We're going to take every element of every match that we ever had and just kind of put it all into one. Yes. And we're just going to go out and do it. And it was as simple, like they did it. Like it was, they
just poetry in motion.
Yeah, exactly. Just poetry in motion.
It was like, and the thing that I love about it is like, I'm critical with in-ring performance when it comes to like rating wrestlers. Like, yes, the character is important, but I don't feel it should be weighed as heavily as your in-ring ability. And I felt like in that match, like I don't like when matches have wasted sequences. Yeah. Like when you're just doing something just to fucking do it. Like, right. I feel like a lot of the indie wrestlers, not to take anything from independent wrestling, because I love that too. Yeah. But like, I feel like where a lot of independent wrestlers make the mistake is like they get spot happy and they just want to do spots just for the sake of doing a spot. Like with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and in those matches in particular, I don't feel like there were any wasted spots. Every spot had a meaning, had an intention. It led to something later or something that it played to in previous matches, like you said. Like there was nothing wasted.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, bro. Like you said, like it flowed so perfect. Like it just flowed. Everything just flowed so perfect. The perfect ending. And then like the whole how they even with the Ric Flair storyline, because it kind of tied into that as well. Shawn Michaels eliminating Ric Flair.
Love Ric Flair, GOAT.
Undertaker's talking about, you ended Ric Flair's career and I'm about to end your career. Like, man, I'm like, oh my God.
That was the thing that I felt like was so important with their feud, was how they dragged out the storyline.
Yes.
That was like 2 years. Like they were like, that was 2 years straight they were feuding.
Right.
So the build-ups to that and like all the in-between stuff and like how they were integrating everybody they could possibly integrate into it. Oh,
yeah.
God, man. That was just some fine detail right there that I don't feel like WWE has been putting forth lately.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, bro.
I need more of that, with the exception of NXT, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
NXT, I'd say, does a really, really good job of extending the storylines and really developing the characters and forming a true hatred between these athletes on TV for you.
Yeah,
I don't feel like they do that so much with Raw and SmackDown anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like Undertaker was one of the best at helping that. Like, he would love to drag a storyline on. Like, the longer you drag it, cool.
Yeah,
because it plays to his mystique. He's like the boogeyman.
Yeah,
so it's perfect for him.
Also, it's crazy to think how the WWE has had its share of big time stars.
Oh yeah.
So it's crazy how he's able to still stand out amongst guys that he's wrestling with. So Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock. Several different names where these are legit super. Brock Lesnar comes into the fold. Kurt Angle comes into the fold.
Oh, that was another small wrestler I forgot to mention. They had great matches with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Kurt Angle, man. Another GOAT, another legend there. And he just put on great matches with him. But like, even with all those wrestlers, you still, like, Undertaker just was like, it felt like he was always there. Like, no matter who they brought in, no matter who's being built up at the time, it was always just like, yo, all right, so you still got the Undertaker there, and he's still one of the top dogs no matter what storyline's going on. No matter what's going on, you're always tuned into what's going on with the Undertaker storyline. Right.
It was even when he was like in the thing that's funny to think about now I'm looking back in my brain, like, Undertaker is like the only person that was in the mid card that was not considered a mid carder. Even when he was holding the mid tier titles, like the tag titles and the Intercontinental title and stuff like that.
Right.
That makes you a mid carder,
right?
Technically. He's the only person that was a mid carder that was still getting like high profile, like top of the line main event matches and shit. Like, how are you a mid-carder and main event in WrestleMania?
It just speaks to him, man. It just speaks to him perfectly.
Oh, man.
Like, I remember the when he had the tag team titles with Kane as the Brothers of Destruction.
Woo!
And that was dope.
Woo!
They just went from having iconic matches with one another throughout the late 90s, and then early 2000s come around, and now they just kicking ass together. Yeah, now they're kicking ass together.
And they had that fire intro.
Oh, and then the outro too, when they walk out and they both raise their arm up.
Bruh. Dope. Oh my God, bro. You're bringing back some memories right now. Boy, I might have to go in my wrestling DVDs.
Got to.
Re-binge.
Got to, man.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
I think I got some of those WrestleManias we were talking about too. I'm gonna have to re-look.
I mean, we might have to get up and
we got to do an episode.
Yeah. We got to watch those and do an episode on those, man.
Fact.
Man. But yeah, man, it's kind of crazy seeing it come to an end, because all good things is gonna come to an end in life. Nothing lasts forever. But
if you're asking me, it should have come to an end a few years ago.
Yeah, but. Yeah. I feel you on that one. He was talking about the documentary.
The documentary made me understand what was going on.
He had to have that surgery. Like that surgery was gruesome too, man. That joint was nasty.
Oh yes. My goodness.
Yes.
I'm mad that the documentary just like shoved it in our face without no warning. It was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go into my surgery, and then bang, it's in your face. It's like, oh, come on, give me a warning, bro. Chill.
So yeah, he was saying that
my eyes.
He was done. Like, he was like done. Like, oh, this is it for me. Like, I can't do this no more. But then he has a surgery, and it just kind of extends his career just a little bit longer, just to give us a little bit more.
I must admit, he looked really good when he came out of that surgery, and when he was training. Like, when they showed him and his wife, when they were getting ready for that whatever match that was, he was returning in. oh my God, he was looking so solid. Like the way he was hitting the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I always indicate how good of a wrestler you are, how hard you hit the ropes. Like, because I've been in a wrestling ring before and I felt them ropes and them shits hurt. Like, they don't feel like what you would think they feel. Like, they're not elastic. Them shits are like leather. Like, so if someone's hit with the way he was just hitting those ropes, I'm like, oh man, Undertaker might. Oh no, Undertaker might be back, baby.
And real quick, just to touch on that, this is like for the casuals, because I got into some arguments where people saying like, yo, wrestling is fake. That's why I stopped watching it. Wrestling is far from fake.
It's not fake. It's predetermined. It's
predetermined. It's staged. And I think Undertaker laid it out perfectly. He said it's athletic storytelling. Mm-hmm. Those hits that they're taking, those bumps, like all that is real. That shit really hurts.
I tell this to people all the time. If you ever get an opportunity to go into an actual wrestling ring, whether it's an independent show or of any sort, go in that motherfucker and feel what the canvas feel like. Mm-hmm. It is not forgiving.
Right.
Like, that's what made me really, really have an extreme respect for wrestlers growing up, because at a really, really young age, I got an opportunity to go inside of a wrestling ring. Mm-hmm. So when I felt that, and like, because in your head, you're thinking it's like a bed. You're thinking it's like soft. It's like, no, that is one step above the fucking ground. So for these men to be slamming their flesh and bone on this daily, and this is the thing that I always argue with people about wrestlers. When is off season for wrestling?
Ain't no off season.
There ain't one.
Ain't no off season
all year long. They're the only athletes that don't have an off season. Mm-hmm. They're traveling 300 plus days a year.
Yep.
And wrestling all the holidays, all the events, like
all the major cities, different countries.
There ain't no off period. So these motherfuckers are arguably more athletic than some of the people in the NFL, people in the NBA, because they're active all year.
All year. You got to remain in shape all year. Your body, you don't get a rest.
Nope.
You rarely get a rest.
And the tax that traveling as much as you do puts on your body.
Yes.
Like, dude, I really, truly appreciate wrestling as a craft.
Yeah.
And it's something that I would love to be a world I would love to be a part of. But just from watching it as closely as I have over the years, I know I never could. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not built like that. Like these people that do that, man, bro, fucking kudos, bravo to you, because I could never be a part of that world.
You got to give them the respect. You can't disrespect. You can't just sit here and say it's fake and this and that and that's not real and not really hitting each other. No. These dudes is legit going through it, bro.
I always tell people that argue that. One thing that I noticed that people that always say wrestling is fake is they've never been to a wrestling event. Mm-hmm. They've only ever seen it on TV. Mm-hmm. If you go to a live wrestling event, that will change your perspective on everything. I don't care if it's indie or WWE, AEW, whomever. If you go to a live wrestling event, you will understand, number one, how much goes into the promotion and putting it together, all the different pieces that you have to combine to make a show, and the impact of the moves is really understood when you go to a live show. Yeah. Because the difference is when you're watching it on TV, most of the audio you hear is the commentators and the dialogue. You don't hear the physical hitting of the mat. When you're in an arena and a motherfucker takes that backdrop and they hit, you hear it. It echoes through the whole stadium. So you can understand like the impact that these individuals are taking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real deal.
It's legit real, yo.
It's real deal.
I want to get your reaction on this and then we go ahead and wrap this up. So when the streak was officially broken, the WrestleMania streak.
Yep.
What was your reaction on that? How did you feel? What type of mood did that put you in?
Okay, I went through a roller coaster of emotions at first because, of course, being a wrestling fan for 25 plus years like I've been, it's Undertaker has been that one constant that you've always seen. And
right.
then when the streak became a manifestation of something that we paid attention to, that was one of those things that like you hold sacred as a wrestling purist.
Yeah.
You're just like, nah, the streak was more important than a title in some cases. Like, so once it was broken, I was like sad. I just felt like a part of my childhood was